Alright, we're here with the Alcort Super Sailfish ZSA. We're putting a rub rail on the side for the rub rail. We're using this piece of trim here. Just picked it up at Lowe's. It's pine, it's already primed. It's got a square edge on the top and a little rounded edge on the bottom. For the tow rail on the top of the deck here, we took another piece of this trim, we cut it down to about 3/4 of an inch, so we trimmed off about that much of it, and that's what's curved around the top here. We're having the tow rail on the top overlap the rub rail. I'm going to put thickened epoxy in there because the deck edge seam is right here. That'll make a nice seal on top of a seal for the deck edge. So what we're doing now is working on this tow rail. Get around this corner, we're drilling about every 3 inches. So we made up a little stick, 3-inch markings. Marked it out, 3, 6, 9, 12. And got our combination countersink with the little edge here, the pilot bit. Little number 6 by 3/4 silicone bronze screw. We just take our thumb, we use our calibrated thumb to see if the tow rail is flush with the rub rail. We're fitting all this tonight, dry fitting, and then tomorrow we'll come back in, we'll pull it off, and we'll squeeze a bead of thickened epoxy in there. Drill a little bit more to this inside edge because right underneath here is where the rub rail is. We'd be going into the crack in the seam there. So we'll need a little adjustment on this pilot bit. Just adjusted it a little to make this pilot bit not go as deep, but as I'm putting the screw in, I can see it starting to stress the tow rail, put a little crack in it. So gonna loosen it up, gonna back it off just a little bit. Tighten it up again. That'll make the pilot part of it go in just a little bit deeper. So you guys able to drive that without getting a little split. So redo this one. So pull that a little bit, see if it feels flush. Take the drill. And at this point, I don't know if I'm going to leave these in or take them back out after the epoxy dries. Either way, these are sunk in just a little. I'm either going to fair over the top or just remove them completely and put fairing compound in there. work this back a little at a time and go about however distance you need. If I went all the way back here and pushed it, it would come in inside this edge and that wouldn't stay lined up. So a few more is 3, 6, 9, 12 inches. Line it up. Drill the pilot. When it's all epoxied and dried, what's going to be holding it, the actual fastener, is going to be the epoxy itself. You take the screws out and don't even need the screws at all. So maybe I just answered my own question. Don't pull these screws out. Use them again on something else. Once you get on a straight run, go every 12 inches, every 16 inches or so. In fact, that's all we had to do on the side. It took the bend pretty nice. So we just went down every 12 inches with the fastener on the rub rail. We picked the width of this close to what the original width was, plus we added a little bit extra to cover the top of that rub rail, but it was only big enough, only wide enough to where it comes down and fits inside this handrail here. So we took that into account. Now we're running out of that curve and we've got starting to have more of a straight run here, so I can just put in a, put this one here. Split just a little bit on the end there. When you get close to the end of a piece, you want to stay back a bit, or else you may get a little split. We'll squirt a little epoxy in there and finish it up. That's the oh, should have warned you, you go flying now. So that's the rub rail and the toe rail for ZSA. Spin you around up on the bow here. One of the tricks Kohler and some of the others recommend instead of just squaring off a piece on the end, you take it and angle it up a little bit. So that's what we did here, starting about here. Ease that up to the bow, shaved it back a little bit. The deck will be trimmed. We got our bow handle to go there, and that'll be it. Talk to you again soon.